Hi, my name is Natalie. Welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I'm gonna talk about why it's really important using the weekly candlestick, because that candlestick will show us what happened this week, but also what could happen the next coming week. We do have this huge candlestick to the downside. As we all know, the market usually never continuing straight up. Having a strong bearish candlestick like this, we could actually see a lot of things happening in between, but I do believe we will continue to the downside. But obviously, it's really important using the lower time frames and see where all of these different areas is. For example, we do have the different support and resistance zones that the market will react to. Remember, I'm no financial advisor, so please look everything up yourself first. But please continue watching this video and I'm gonna show you what I see on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Starting with Bitcoin on the weekly, obviously because right now it's Sunday and we want to see how the market close. And as you're using the other time frames and you are combining the higher with the lower time frames candlestick, when the week is done, it's very important to see how the weekly did close because we're following the higher time frames. So having a huge candlestick like this on the downside, I do believe we're gonna be bearish this week also. Can't say 100%, but looking on how the candlestick is formed and if it's gonna close like this, I do believe we will continue. I do believe we will continue back down. But hey, that's something that we have to wait and see. And but obviously we are still in this downtrend, and we can see that we did come back up to the Fibonacci level that I was talking about. It did come to the support that we did have, and then it just spiked up again, and now we are inside of the Fibonacci level. And the important thing right here now, and I already have it on the lower time frames, but we can see what happened during the day on the lower time frame. So remember when I did talk about the support that we had, and if we are breaking it, coming back to the upside as a resistance, we could sell the market. And you had the opportunity right here because you saw the market coming down, came back up, retested it, and then it retested 2 times, and this time it did close below the previous high. This was perfect for you if you wanted to sell the market. And when you're taking your take profits, you're taking your first take profit off of the last low that we did have. So you would have your take profit around this area, and even if you had more take profits along the way, if you had your entry around here, you are moving your stop loss when you see that the market coming to your first take profit. So you would never have been able to lose money right here. That was a good thing, because even if the market did continue to the upside, obviously if you had more orders in, you would have been stopped out, but you wouldn't lose money. So you wouldn't neither have been gaining money or losing money, and that's a good thing. That's why we are always moving our stop loss to our entry when we see the first target getting hit. And what I'm waiting to see, we can take this resistance right here, and obviously because I see the market continuing to the downside, I want the market, if I want to see a new sell opportunity, I want the market to break this support or resistance that we did have before, also have being a support during the day. I want the market to come back down, come back up again and retest it, and then just continuing to the downside. Because you can see on the higher time frames, even if we do have this huge candlestick, I want to see how the market reacts to the Fibonacci level that I'm having on 43592 and 43235. That's what I want to see. We can also see how it looks on the higher time frames. Obviously we need to be careful, because the market can come up, or not careful, I mean, if the market is not breaking to the downside and coming back up, we're obviously not selling. So that's why we have to see also what's happening on the higher time frames, because we are right now ranging in between 43522 and 43057. And if we see that the market is breaking this resistance, turning it to support, we just might come up here, and you can see that this is also the previous lower high that we're having. So the market can come up here again, and after that, obviously we just have to wait and see what it will do. If it's breaking to the upside, let's see. If it's breaking this resistance to the upside, and coming back down and retest it as a support. Our next target will be 48840. But that's only if the market is breaking this area, because right now we do have to focus on the Fibonacci levels that we do have right here, and we are actually inside of that one. So either it will break to the downside and continuing down, or it will break to the upside and continue to the breaking the resistance, and then it will continue to the upside. So we have two options right here, and option 3 is obviously that we have to wait until the market is breaking in. Looking at Ethereum, we do have the same thing. I did have this triangle yesterday and we did break it. If you're looking at how it looks on the lower time frames, you can see that we did break it. We did break the triangle, we came up and retested it, and then it went to the previous lower low that we did have. And the same thing right here. If you saw that the break and retest, your first take profit would have been on the lower low, and you would have moved your stop loss to your entry, and when the market came up you got stopped out right here, or maybe if you moved your stop loss even more, but at that point you're not in negative, your account is safe, and you actually hit target 1. We are right now at the support that I was talking about, that we might see a rejection, and obviously we do have huge candlesticks to the upside, and we just have to wait and see what the market will do around this area. We can copy and paste it to the lower time frames just to make sure, and you can see how perfect that is. And obviously we need to find other areas on the lower time frames and see what area we want the market to break. So if the market comes back down to this area, or even, let's see, this support right here, I want to go back in time, and you see, I would say that even it's pretty close right now. Even if the market breaks to the downside, comes back up and continuing down, or if the market will break to the upside, come back down, and then continuing to 3,160. You need to think about that we are at this support right here, and we did respect it 3 times. So if the market does break this previous high that we did have right here, that if the market comes back up, then we are breaking the previous lower high, and we just might make another higher low, and then we just might see the market continuing to the upside. Obviously Bitcoin will do the same thing, but just so you can see how it looks on Ethereum and what you should think about. And if we see the market breaking 3062, and if you miss it, you can focus on 3113 and see how the market reacts to it at that area. So it's really tight right now. So I would probably say, if to not get faked out, I would definitely try to wait for the market to come to this support at 2987 instead of this smaller one, because it's so tight. I want the market to move more so I can see clearly what the market actually is doing, because right now we have to think about this huge candlestick to the upside, this bullish candlestick, and we are at the support. But when you're having a movement like this, it could actually continuing up, and at that point we need to focus on 3167 and see how the market reacts to this previous resistance right here. We might see some huge movement to the upside, but then it will continue down, and looking at the weekly, at that point that would just be a wick. That could just be a wick, right? And then it will continue down. But only looking at market structure, I do believe we will continuing down during this week. But for me, I think the most accurate support on the lower time frames is 2986. Break it, come back up and retest it. Or if we are continuing to the upside and you want to scalp it, you can see if it's breaking 3061, retest it, and then continuing, and you just might have your target would be at 3544. And at that point, obviously I'm moving my stop loss with the market. If the market just comes up here and retest it and then continues down, I get stopped out, and I'm happy with that. It's okay. Someone wanted me to look at OG and USD, and looking at the weekly, well, we just have been going straight down, and you also have this huge candlestick to the downside. And if we are breaking it down, you can see that we came up to the Fibonacci level that I took from 0.85, no, 0.83 to the low 0.69, and all the other millions of numbers. And if we are copying pasting the Fibonacci levels, we can see that we came to the 50%, and that's 0.7657. Yeah, I hope you can see that. What I do believe this market will do, I mean, if we're still looking at the weekly and how the market will close, we are in a huge downtrend. If you're focusing on the Fibonacci levels on the 50 and 61%, and if you see that the market is coming up, right, if you see market coming up here, and then you start to see on the lower time frames that the market is starting to go to the downside, you have your opportunities to sell the market as high as possible, and that's on the lower highs that we're having on the lower time frames. If we are selling at this area right here, my first target will be around 0.6945, etc. The previous low that we do have. Or if it's not coming up there, I would recommend for us to wait to see if the market breaks this support on 0.192, comes back up, retest it, and then we just might see the market continuing. But we do have on the lower time frames, we do have high low. The market can continue to the Fibonacci level and then break to the downside, because as I told you, we are having this downtrend right here, but it can come back up a little bit more, because you can see that we've just been consolidating. We had this fake out to the downside, and then we just might come back up a little bit more and then continuing down. Just might see the market just starting to consolidate again, because we did have the market has been so volatile for a couple of days now. So yeah, this is what I see, and I hope you understand why it's so important to use the weekly time frames, especially on a Sunday, to see how the week actually has been going. And with that, we're just breaking everything down. So it's gonna be an exciting week, and I'm also gonna do 3 lives during this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I hope to see you early in the morning. It's gonna be before London session opens. I want you guys to sit with me when I'm analyzing the market before everything opens, if we can find entries. So I hope you want to join me on my live streams. If you are not, I'm still gonna give you videos every day during this week. I hope you had a great weekend. See each other on Tuesdays live. Have a great day. Bye bye.